Chapter 71 Mission and Departure. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kill the traitor Li Qingyuan of Xian sect. Looking at the task content in the task Jade slip, Yang Feng frowned slightly, muttered softly, and then checked the specific information of the task. When Yang Feng carefully read the content of the task Jade slip, he knew why Li Wudi did not limit the time for him to complete the task, and did not require him to complete the task. Because the task is too difficult. Li Qingyuan is a true disciple of Xian sect, with a cultivation level of the first period of the infant realm. Because he practiced evil skills and slaughtered the city to practice, he was hunted down by the law enforcement team of Xian sect and fled into the depths of the chaotic mountains. If it was just a battle with Li Qingyuan, a cultivator of the first period of the infant realm, Yang Feng could easily kill him. Of course, if it was so simple, the law enforcement team of Xian sect would have killed Li Qingyuan long ago. And it would not be Yang Feng's turn. The reason why the Xuanhuan law enforcement team did not kill Li Qingyuan, the traitor, was because Li Qingyuan fled to the chaotic land of Chaos Mountains. Chaos Mountains are located in the northeast corner of Xuanhu, stretching 500,000 kilometers from east to west and 600,000 kilometers from north to south. There are various terrains such as mountains, canyons, plains, lakes, etc., and it is full of spiritual energy and rich in resources. It is an extremely vast holy land for cultivation. However, in ancient times, countless strong men fought in Chaos Mountains, and the entire land of Chaos Mountains was destroyed. Space cracks, space-time wormholes, caves and secret realms left by fallen strong men, countless demons and monsters in time and space, etc., all make Chaos Mountains extremely dangerous. In addition to these dangers, the biggest feature of Chaos Mountains is the chaos of laws. All the monks of the law realm and above will be affected by the law of chaos when they enter the Chaos Mountains. Their own strength will be weakened by 99%, and they may even become chaotic due to the influence of the law of chaos, and turn into humanoid monsters. Therefore, under normal circumstances, monks of the law realm and above will not enter the Chaos Mountains. Without the suppression of the monks of the law realm and above, the 5 major sects, Xuanzong, Shenzhen Villa, Bingshan Palace, Puppet Sect, and Yusho Sect, have no control over the Chaos Mountains, especially when the criminals end. Casual cultivators from the 81 regions of Dongzhou flocked to the Chaos Mountains and slaughtered the disciples of the 5 major sects crazily. The 5 major sects had to withdraw from the Chaos Mountains and leave it to those criminals and casual cultivators. At this time, the Chaos Mountains were full of criminals, casual cultivators, demons, and other dangerous elements, and were a forbidden area for the disciples of the 5 major sections. If Yang Feng wants to kill Li Qingyuan, he must venture into the Chaos Mountains. Once Yang Feng reveals his identity as a disciple of the 5 major sects, he will become the target of hunting by countless criminals, casual cultivators, demons, which is extremely dangerous. The Chaos Mountains are very dangerous and difficult for others, but for me, it's okay, not too dangerous, and not too difficult. After carefully browsing the content of the task, Yang Feng smiled slightly and whispered to himself, although the Chaos Mountains are very chaotic and dangerous, Yang Feng is very confident in his own strength. In particular, Yang Feng has practiced the swallowing demon art and condensed the swallowing talisman, so he can disguise himself as a demon cultivator and walk freely in the Chaos Mountains without worrying about being targeted. At the same time, there are many bad people in the Chaos Mountains. Yang Feng uses the swallowing demon art to turn them into food for his own evolution, without any sense of guilt. After a self-talk, Yang Feng called Geng Xiaoli and Yang Xiaoli to his side, asked them to explain some things, and gave them a large amount of spiritual stones, spirit pills, first-level magic pills and other resources, asking them to manage the affairs of Huishan Peak and Yang family disciples. After that, Yang Feng took off into the air, turned into a stream of light, and flew towards the direction of Xiaoguang City. It is unknown how long it will take to go to Chaos Mountains to perform the mission this time. Yang Feng plans to return to Xiaoguang City first to see his mother and family before performing the mission. After all, there is no time limit for the mission in Chaos Mountains, and Yang Feng can control it at will, so there is no need to be so anxious. At the same time, Yang Feng plans to take this opportunity to travel around Xuanhu, increase his knowledge, and experience various lives. Soon, Yang Feng flew to Xuanhuan City as a clerk. At this time, Xuanhuan City has expanded several times outward, and a magnificent and majestic Zhenan Palace was built in the center of Xuanhuan City. Seeing this, Yang Feng showed a faint smile on his lips, and immediately flew to the front of the Zhenan Palace and walked towards Yang De's study. Yang Feng, you are back. As soon as Yang Feng walked into the study, Yang De showed a look of surprise, and hurriedly stood up to greet him. Dear, your cultivation speed is very fast. You have cultivated to the Ganqi realm. It won't take many days to be promoted to the Fa realm and have a 5-year lifespan. Yang Feng felt the breath of Yang De, and a faint smile flashed in his eyes, and he said softly. The reason why I cultivate so fast is because you provide me with a lot of cultivation resources. By the way, during the time you were away, your mother and I gave you a sister. I will take you to see her. Yang De said with a smile. After that, Yang De took Yang Feng to the backyard of the palace. Soon, Yang Feng followed Yang De to the backyard of the palace. At this time, a 1-year-old doll was playing in the backyard accompanied by a maid. As soon as the doll saw Yang De, it giggled and ran to Yang De, shouting loudly, Daddy, hug me. Seeing the doll, Yang De immediately squatted down, opened his arms, held it in his arms, kissed it on the face and said, Baby, this is your brother Yang Feng. As soon as Yang De finished speaking, the doll opened its curious eyes and looked at Yang Feng for a while, and said in a crisp voice, Brother. Seeing that the doll was so smart, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with excitement, and he quickly reached out to hold Yang De and the doll and said, Baby, be good, brother hug you. The doll held in Yang Feng's arms was not afraid at all, did not cry or make a fuss, and opened its eyes wide, constantly looking at Yang Feng. Feng is back. At this time, Yang's mother Zhang Xia came out from the backyard and said to Yang Feng with a happy face. Mother, I'm back. Yang Feng responded softly and played with the baby in his arms. After that, Yang Feng stayed in the Zhenan Palace for 3 days, left a space ring containing a large number of spiritual stones, elixirs, martial arts, magic tools, spiritual tools, and even treasures for his mother and sister, and left the Zhenan Palace and flew towards the direction of Liyan City. After arriving in Liyan City, Yang Feng found that Wei Shui's family lived a good and wealthy life. Wei Shui's mother even gave Wei Shui a younger brother, and Wei Shui himself cultivated to the Ganqi realm. This made Yang Feng very satisfied, and a faint smile appeared on his face. However, Yang Feng did not disturb Wei Shui's family. Instead, he quietly found Li Han, gave Li Han some elixirs and a Jindan realm puppet, and asked him to help him take care of the Yang and Wei families, and then left Liyan City and flew away. Chapter 72 Encountering people fleeing famine on the road. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What a desolate land. The people here are already exhausted. Looking at the dry rivers, lakes, cracked land, dilapidated houses, and corpses everywhere, Yang Feng, who was sitting cross-legged on the top great treasure flying boat, frowned slightly and murmured softly. At this time, Yang Feng had already left Raging Flames City for a week. During this period, Yang Feng was on the road during the day and rested anywhere at night, easily flying over a distance of more than 10,000 miles. However, although Yang Feng flew over a distance of more than 10,000 miles, the land beneath him still belonged to the Xiantian sect and was managed by the Chu state under the Xiantian sect. Therefore, Yang Feng felt very unhappy when he saw the scene stretching for thousands of miles, with empty rooms and corpses everywhere. When there is an opportunity in the future, I suggest that the sect directly manage the countries under its command and send sect disciples to settle in each country under its jurisdiction to prevent this situation from happening. Yang Feng murmured softly, then withdrew his gaze and let a golden realm puppet continue to drive the top-grade treasure flying boat towards the direction of the Chaos Mountains. Soon, Yang Feng flew hundreds of kilometers away. Countless runaways with their families and sallow faces came into Yang Feng's field of vision. There are millions of people fleeing famine here. If I don't get out, 8 or 9 of these people will die on the way out. Yang Feng looked at the hundreds of miles of fleers and the countless corpses on both sides of the road, especially those of young babies, frowned slightly and murmured softly. Amid mutterings, Yang Feng asked the Golden Realm puppet to lower its flying height and float 100 meters above the ground. Kowtow to the Immortal Master. Kowtow to the Immortal Master. Seeing Yang Feng's figure, the refugees who stretched for hundreds of miles knelt on the ground and shouted loudly. Hearing the screams of the millions of refugees, Yang Feng immediately opened his eyes wide, cast his Xuanhuan Qi technique, and looked down at the millions of refugees. Soon, Yang Feng found a young man with a hint of golden luck among the millions of deserters. With a thought, a strong wind condensed around the young man's body and wrapped his body. The flying boat, a top-grade treasure, was speeding in the direction. "May I have your name?" Looking at the young man in cloth in front of him, Yang Feng asked in a calm tone. "Back to Immortal Master, my name is Zhengtao." The commoner young man responded in a respectful tone. "Zhengtao, do you have any good solution for these millions of refugees?" Yang Feng asked softly. "Master Immortal, there is nothing I can do for these millions of refugees. But if the Immortal Master is willing to come out, he can build a brand new home here for millions of deserters." Zhengtao responded respectfully. "I am going to build a new city for these millions of deserters to live in, and then appoint you as the lord of this city. Do you have the confidence to lead these millions of deserters to live a good life?" Yang Feng said in a calm tone. "If the Immortal Master can provide me with food for 1 million people fleeing famine for a year, and then solve the drought problem here, I am confident that I can lead millions of people fleeing famine and live a good life without worries about food and clothing." Zhengtao said with a respectful expression. Hearing Zhengtao's words, Yang Feng nodded slightly and did not respond. Instead, he moved and flew into the sky above millions of refugees. He activated the mana in his body and said loudly, "I am going to build a city here to provide food for the people. You live here so that you don't have to continue to flee." After saying that, Yang Feng thought, and streams of pure mana came out of his body and enveloped him downwards. Suddenly, he saw the dry land below, enveloped by countless pure magic powers, and began to tremble violently. A huge deep pit kilometers long and kilometers wide appeared in his field of vision. Immediately afterwards, under the mana of countless lust Yang Feng, a huge city wall was formed that was feet high and 3 feet wide. At the same time, the 4 huge city gates in the southeast, northwest and northwest were also condensed by Yang Feng's lust. After that, countless 6-story and 3-story stone buildings were condensed under the control of Yang Feng. When a huge lust city was formed in the wasteland, Yang Feng had a thought in his mind and cast the magic of turning mud into stone, instantly turning the huge lust city into a stone city. What a terrifying power! In such a short time, built a city that can accommodate millions of people. It's really shocking. Seeing the huge stone city below and standing on the top-notch treasure flying boat, Zhengtao's eyes flashed with shock, and he couldn't help but exclaimed. As for the countless escapees in the wasteland, after seeing the huge stone city that suddenly appeared in the wasteland, their eyes flashed with excitement and anticipation, and they shouted loudly. "The Immortal Master is mighty. Thank you, Master Immortal. The Immortal Master will enjoy immortal blessings forever, and his lifespan will be as long as the heavens." Yang Feng ignored the exclamations and shouts of Zhengtao and countless escapees. Instead, he mobilized the magic power in his body and shouted loudly, "The rain is coming." Suddenly, he saw the surging mana in Yang Feng's body, flowing out of his body, covering an area hundreds of miles away. Immediately afterwards, the clouds with a radius of tens of thousands of miles were affected by the spell cast by Yang Feng, and rushed toward the area Yang Feng was looking for like a tide. Drops of rainwater formed in the void and fell downwards. Soon, hundreds of areas were covered by heavy rain. Countless rains fall on the earth, moistening the dry land and filling the dry rivers and lakes. "It's raining! It's raining! It finally rained, we are saved! It's raining, we can't escape." Seeing the pouring rain, the refugees who stretched for more than 100 miles let out excited shouts one after another and ran directly out of the rain-free area specially set aside by Yang Feng to accept the baptism of the heavy rain. Seeing the inner excitement and joy on the faces of millions of refugees, a strong sense of success surged from the bottom of his heart, making Yang Feng's face reveal a happy smile. What a terrifying mana fluctuation! Who is this from our country of Chu? A monk in the magical power realm in the capital of the king of Chu felt the huge fluctuation of mana in the distance. He opened his closed eyes, whispered softly, jumped into the air, and flew towards the place where young Feng was. Soon, the supernatural power monk from Chu State flew thousands of miles away and arrived near Yang Feng's location. He saw the stone city that could accommodate millions of people, the pouring rain, and the suspended Yang Feng in midair. Xiong Binglin, a monk from the royal family of Chu State, has met a fellow Taoist. I wonder what he calls his fellow Taoist. That at this time, the supernatural power realm monk from Chu State flew not far from Yang Feng and asked with a look of caution on his face. Chapter 73 Qingxiang Pavilion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I am Yang Feng, the true younger brother of the Xuanhuan sect, and this is my identity token. Hearing Xiong Binglin's words, Yang Feng's expression changed, and he threw the identity token over with a big wave. Xiong Binglin took Yang Feng's identity token and checked it carefully. After confirming that it was correct, he moved closer to Yang Feng and respectfully handed it back to Yang Feng. I have met senior brother Yang, and I know Yang Feng, he said. What's your order, senior brother? I built a stone city for these deserters. You prepare a year's supply of food, clothing and other materials for them. By the way, all the land within a radius of 5 miles will be assigned to this Qingxiang for farming use. I let Jingtao be the lord of this stone city. I have something to do. I can stay here for a long time. For the follow-up matters, you can directly contact Jingtao. Is there any problem? Yang Feng took the identity token, put it into the space ring, and said to Xiong Binglin with a dull expression. No problem. Xiong Binglin responded without any hesitation. After receiving Xiong Binglin's affirmative answer, Yang Feng made a move and a strong wind swept Jingtao to his side. After that, Yang Feng introduced Xiong Binglin and Jingtao to each other, and made some simple explanations that he would take the top-notch treasure flying boat and continue to fly in the direction of the chaos vein. Jingtao, you are really lucky to have met the kind-hearted senior brother Yang. Looking at Yang Feng's retreating back, Xiong Binglin said to Jingtao with a smile on his face. Yes. We are really lucky. If it weren't for immortal Master Yang, we escapees would probably die miserably on the way out. Jingtao nodded slightly and said with a respectful expression. Hearing Jingtao's words, Xiong Binglin smiled slightly, stretched out his hand and patted Jingtao's shoulder and said, They are very lucky, and you are even more lucky to be valued by senior brother Yang. Manage this stone city well. One day, when senior brother Yang comes back from work and sees that you manage the stone city well, he will definitely grant you a fairy fate and make you an immortal. After saying that, Xiong Binglin sent Jingtao to the ground with a big wave of his hand, then turned into a stream of light and flew towards the capital of King Chu. As a royal monk, Xiong Binglin must report the things Yang Feng told the Chu royal family and handle the things Yang Feng told him as soon as possible. Otherwise, the Chu royal family will not get any good results, and may even be destroyed because of this. After all, the true disciple of the Xuanhuan sect was powerful and distinguished. He could save tens of thousands of refugees, and he could also destroy the Chu royal family. After bidding farewell to Xiong Binglin, Yang Feng flew tens of thousands of kilometers and arrived near a prosperous city. This prosperous big city is called Qingxiang. A large river is several feet wide and stretches for tens of thousands of miles, reaching directly to the East China Sea. It runs through it and divides it into 2 urban areas, each with a population of tens of thousands. Extremely prosperous. Since I came to Tianwu continent, I have never enjoyed the prosperity of the world. This Jiangqing is great. I will rest in Jiangqing for a while and feel the prosperity of the world. Looking at Jiangqing in the distance, Yang Feng's heart moved and he murmured softly, putting away the top-notch treasure flying boat and the golden elixir realm battle puppet, and flew to a jungle outside Jiangqing. After that, Yang Feng put on a gorgeous brocade dress, put on a precious jade pendant, held a long sword with countless patterns and inlaid with countless gems, took out a large stack of gold tickets from the space ring and put it into his pocket. Disguised himself as a knight-errant, and walked swaggeringly into Jiangqing. Jiangqing is very prosperous, and the roads leading to the surrounding areas are also extremely smooth and wide, allowing 10 carriages to travel side by side. Soon, Yang Feng came out of the jungle, like a fledgling martial artist, entered the spacious avenue, and walked slowly towards the east gate of Qingxiang. This young hero, does he need to ride in a carriage? You only need 1 silver coin, and I can take you to the gate of Qingxiang. With just 1 gold coin, can take you to any place in Qingxiang. At this time, a carriage stopped in front of Yang Feng, and the old coachman on the carriage asked Yang Feng. After hearing what the old coachman said, Yang Feng glanced at the plainly decorated carriage, jumped onto the carriage, reached into his arms, and using the cover of his clothes, took out a gold coin from the space ring and handed it to the old coachman. Said, "Take me to the busiest and most interesting place in Qingxiang. This young knight, today is the day when Qingxiang Pavilion chooses the Oiran. Many powerful and wealthy businessmen and knights will go to Qingxiang Pavilion to choose the Oiran. Therefore, today's Qingxiang Pavilion is the most lively and fun place in Qingxiang. Then take me to Qingxiang Pavilion." Hearing the old coachman's words, Yang Feng's eyes lit up and he responded softly. Yang Feng's predecessor was a hard-working, single man. This generation also spent all his time on cultivation. Yang Feng had never been to a place like Qingxiang Pavilion. "I'm bored today," so Yang Feng just went to experience it. "Young hero, please sit down and we'll set off." After receiving Yang Feng's affirmative answer, the old coachman responded softly, driving the carriage and galloping towards Qingxiang. Yang Feng was sitting on the carriage, letting go of his consciousness to check the surrounding pedestrians, carriages, and caravans, and obtain various information about Qingxiang. After a long time, the carriage passed through the majestic east gate, and drove along the wide and smooth avenue in the city to the most prosperous street in the city. Soon, the carriage stopped in front of a loft covering tens of thousands of square meters, with a multi-story structure and extremely luxurious decoration. "Young man, we have arrived at Qingxiang Pavilion." At this time, the old driver lifted the curtain and said to Yang Feng. Hearing the words of the old driver, Yang Feng got off the carriage, looked at the luxurious and atmospheric loft in front of him, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He held the gemstone sword in his hand and walked slowly to the door of the loft. "What is the name of this young man?" When Yang Feng came to the door of Qingxiang Pavilion, a Qingxiang Pavilion guy quickly greeted him and asked respectfully. "You can call me Young Master Yang," Yang Feng said in a flat tone. "Young Master Yang, we have 3 types of seats in Qingxiang Pavilion: hall seats, box seats, and VIP seats. Hall seats cost 1 gold coin, box seats cost 10 gold coins, and VIP seats cost 1 gold coin. Do you know which seat you need?" Hearing Yang Feng's words, the waiter immediately introduced softly. "Please arrange a VIP seat for me," Yang Feng said without hesitation. As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, the waiter showed an excited smile on his face, and immediately shouted loudly to the inside of Qingxiang Pavilion, "1 VIP seat." At this time, a brothel owner dressed in fancy clothes, with a charming smile, walked quickly to Yang Feng's side. Chapter 74 Selecting the Oiran. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Young Master Yang, take you to the VIP room." The madam came to Yang Feng and said with a charming smile. After saying that, Lao Bai led Yang Feng towards the stairs. Soon, Lao Bai took Yang Feng to a VIP room on the 8th floor. The VIP room covers an area of about 100 square meters, and is decorated with more than 10 crystal lamps, illuminating the VIP room brightly. The VIP room is decorated with 2 rows of soft sofas, a crystal coffee table, and a crystal wall. Through the crystal wall, you can see a stage covering an area of 1,000 square meters in the center of Qingxiang Pavilion. Obviously, that stage is the venue where the Oiran selection event will be held. "Young Master Yang, we have 4 girls coming out of the Qingxiang Pavilion today. Whoever you see will be able to give you flowers. A pot of flowers will cost you 1,000 gold coins. Which girl you give the most flowers to, that girl will accompany you tonight." One night. After entering the VIP room, Lao Bai said with a smile on his face. "If you send flowers to 4 girls in, and if you send more flowers than others, then we'll not spend time with these 4 girls tonight." Yang Feng looked at Lao Bai with a smile and said. "Only young Master Yang has the financial resources, so the four girls can spend the night together with young Master Yang. Lao Bai was stunned for a moment, and then said with a smile on his face, after saying that, Lao Bai left the VIP room. Afterwards, several maids in palace clothes slowly entered the VIP room carrying crystal plates filled with fruits, drinks and snacks, and placed these crystal plates on the coffee table. Immediately afterwards, four beauties with tall, sexy figures, pretty faces, wearing gauze clothes and exuding a seductive aura slowly entered the VIP room. Young Master Yang, during the Oiran selection period, the four sisters will serve you. If you want to send flowers, just tell us directly. At the head, a beautiful woman in gauze clothes said to Yang Feng with a charming smile. No. Yang Feng glanced at the four beauties and said in a calm tone, after getting Yang Feng's affirmative answer, the leading beauty in gauze sat next to Yang Feng, first poured Yang Feng a glass of wine, then peeled off a grape for Yang Feng and brought it to Yang Feng's mouth. The other three beauties in gauze clothes walked up behind Yang Feng, placed their soft little on Yang Feng's shoulders, and pressed them gently. The other two beauties in gauze knelt on both sides of Yang Feng, clenching their soft little balls into fists and gently tapping Yang Feng's legs. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng smiled slightly, opened his mouth, ate the grapes, and enjoyed the services of the four beauties. Not long after, a bustle dressed in a gorgeous costume walked quickly to the stage in the center of Qingxiang Pavilion and said in a loud voice, "Everyone, today is the day when we choose the Oiran in Qingxiang Pavilion. The rules are as follows, everyone should know, so I won't say much. Now, four girls are invited to come forward." As soon as the madam finished speaking, four beautiful girls in floral dresses with peerless looks slowly entered the stage and sat down on the four chairs on the stage. Immediately afterwards, four beautiful maids in gauze, holding signs with the names Xuanhuan, Xiazhu, Zhouju, and Dongmei, walked quickly behind the four beautiful girls with peerless looks and stood there quietly, like a sculpture. These are the four girls from Qingxiang Pavilion who are coming out today. They are Xuanhuan, Xiazhu, Zhouju, and Dongmei. The four of them are all Oiran seeds cultivated by Qingxiang Pavilion since childhood. They are proficient in playing music, chess, calligraphy, painting, playing and singing. They have dignified personalities and peerless looks. They are all top-notch beauties. Every one of them is qualified. Become the Oiran of our Qingxiang Pavilion. Our Qingxiang Pavilion only has one Oiran every year, so only one of the four of them can become the Oiran. As for which of the four of them can become the Oiran, I'll leave it to the judges to decide. Now, announces that the Qingxiang Pavilion Oiran selection event has officially begun. At this time, the old bustard took a step forward and said with a smile on his face, after saying that, the madam retreated to the side of the stage. Send Xuanhuan a pot of flowers. Send 10 pots of spring orchid flowers. Send me 10 pots of summer bamboo flowers. Send 5 pots of Zhouju flowers. Send me 8 pots of winter plum flowers. As soon as the madam finished speaking, the guests in the Qingxiang Pavilion started shouting. The guests in the hall were watching the excitement with excitement. As for the guests in the VIP room, they are waiting and watching. The four elders are not lazy, and their qualifications are pretty good. They can at least cultivate to the level of magic power and have a lifespan of 500 years. Yang Feng, who was sitting on the soft sofa, looked at the four girls on the stage through the crystal wall, his eyes lit up, and he murmured in his heart. After muttering, Yang Feng said to the beautiful woman beside him, "Spring orchids, autumn chrysanthemums, winter plums, 100 pots of flowers for each person, and 1,000 pots of summer bamboos." Young Master Yang, you are so awesome. Hearing Yang Feng's words, the beauty beside him lit up her eyes and exclaimed involuntarily. After an exclamation, the beauty walked quickly to the crystal wall and shouted with a sound, "VIP room number 8, spring orchids, autumn chrysanthemums, winter plums, 100 pots of flowers per person, and 1,000 pots of summer bamboos." As soon as the beauty finished speaking, the guests in each compartment of Qingxiang Pavilion all turned their attention to the VIP room where Yang Feng was. The guests in the dining hall showed shocked expressions and couldn't help but look towards the VIP room where Yang Feng was. 1 pot of flowers costs 1,000 gold coins. Once Yang Feng comes out, there will be 1,300 pots of flowers, worth 1,300,000 gold coins. 1 gold coin can be exchanged for 10 silver coins and 1,000 copper coins, which is enough for an ordinary family of 3 to live for 1 month. 1,300,000 gold coins is a very huge number, a number that makes countless people despair. More importantly, Yang Feng directly sent flowers to the 4 girls. Obviously, Yang Feng wanted to take the 4 girls into his pocket. And his appetite was very big. This made many guests in the private rooms and VIP rooms very unhappy. While sending people to inquire about Yang Feng's information, they also asked to send flowers to Xuanhuan, Zhouju and Dongmei. Seeing this, Yang Feng's expression did not change, and he said to the beauty beside him, "Spring orchid, summer bamboo, autumn chrysanthemum, winter plum, 1,000 pots of flowers each." Hearing Yang Feng, the beauty beside him flashed a look of horror in her eyes, and immediately stood up, walked to the crystal wall, and shouted loudly, "Spring orchid, summer bamboo, autumn chrysanthemum, winter plum, 1,000 pots of flowers each." As soon as the beautiful woman's voice fell, the guests in the main hall of Qingxiang Pavilion were completely stunned, and the guests in the box and VIP room were stunned, and they stopped sending flowers and tried their best to find out the news of Yang Feng. At this time, the owner behind Qingxiang Pavilion was startled and immediately walked towards the VIP room where Yang Feng was. Obviously, the owner of Qingxiang Pavilion wanted to test Yang Feng's bottom and see if Yang Feng could take out so many gold coins. That's 5.3 million gold coins. Converted into spirit stones, there are 5,300 pieces. This is a lot of wealth for the owner behind Qingxiang Pavilion. Chapter 75 Concubine. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Young Master Yang, this is young Master Qi, the owner of our Qingxiang Pavilion. The madam brought a young man in brocade clothes and slowly entered Yang Feng's VIP room, introducing him to Yang Feng with a respectful look. Young Master Qi, there are 5 spirit stones in this space ring, which should be able to offset 500,000 gold coins. Yang Feng glanced at the young man in brocade clothes and said in a light tone. After speaking, Yang Feng waved his hand, and a space ring flew out of his body and floated in front of the young man in brocade clothes. "All of you get out." Looking at the space ring floating in front of him, the young man in brocade clothes changed his face slightly, and immediately shouted loudly. Immediately afterwards, the madam and the 4 beauties immediately left the VIP room. At this time, the young man in brocade clothes took the space ring and said respectfully, "Qi Wei from Qingyu sect, I meet you, senior." "Qi Dehai from Qingyu sect, who are you?" Yang Feng asked in a calm tone. "Qi Dehai is my master." Qi Wei responded respectfully. "So you are the young master of Qingyu sect, no wonder you have cultivated to the realm of magic power at such a young age." Hearing Qi Wei's words, Yang Feng said softly, "I don't know what you should call me, senior." As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, Qi Wei's face changed slightly and he asked softly, "I am Yang Feng, a true disciple of Xiantian sect." Yang Feng responded softly, took out his identity token, and waved it in front of Qi Wei. "Qi Wei from Qingyu sect, meet senior brother Yang. It is an honor for Qingxiang Pavilion that senior brother Yang is here to be a guest. These 4 girls are a gift from Qingxiang Pavilion to senior brother Yang. Please take back this space ring, senior brother Yang." Seeing the identity token in Yang Feng's hand, Qi Wei's face changed drastically, and he immediately gave Yang Feng a big gift respectfully, and then handed the space ring back to Yang Feng. Qingyu sect is just a small sect, and the strongest person is only a cultivator in the heavenly man realm, and does not even have the qualifications to become a subsidiary sect of Xiantian sect. It is a subsidiary sect of the subsidiary sect of Xiantian sect. If it can be related to Yang Feng, it will be a great opportunity for Qi Wei and Qingyu sect. In front of this great opportunity, what is a mere 5 spirit stones? Not to mention, these 5 spirit stones were exchanged by the 4 girls of Qingxiang Pavilion. Just a few spirit stones, for me, it's nothing, you can take it. By the way, find me a quiet room, I don't like people disturbing my rest. After hearing Qi Wei's words and seeing his respectful appearance, Yang Feng said in a calm tone. "Yes, senior brother Yang." Qi Wei responded respectfully. put away the space ring, and took young Feng to the first floor of Qingxiang Pavilion, a room with several square meters, extremely luxurious decoration, and extremely complete facilities. After that, Qi Wei respectfully left the room and stopped all those who were trying to find out about young Feng, so that they could not disturb young Feng. Immediately afterwards, Chunlan, Xiazhu, Qiuju, and Dongmei, 4 beautiful women, came to Yang Feng's room and said in a clear and pleasant voice, "I have seen young Master Xuanhuan." After that, the 4 beautiful women slowly walked to Yang Feng's side, undressed, and waited for Yang Feng to rest. Yang Feng also took the opportunity to relax and enjoy a good life. On the morning of the second day, Yang Feng left Qingxiang Pavilion with 4 beautiful women and played in Jiangcheng. Accompanied by 4 beautiful women, Yang Feng had a lot of fun and seemed to be reluctant to leave. However, Yang Feng was not an ordinary person after all. He knew that Tianwu continent was a world where the strong were respected and the weak were preyed upon by the strong. It was okay to enjoy it for a while on Tianwu continent. If you indulge in it all the time and affect your cultivation, it would be very dangerous. Therefore, after Yang Feng played in Jiangcheng for 7 days, he was ready to leave Jiangcheng and continue to the chaos vein. After Yang Feng and the 4 beauties had a warm moment on the big bed, Yang Feng whispered, "I'll give you 2 choices. One is that I'll give you 10,000 gold coins each, a mansion, and a black iron puppet, so that you can live a life of luxury and enjoy a prosperous life. One is that you become my concubines, and I'll send someone to send you to my home to live. I want to remind you that if you become my concubines, you must abide by the rules of concubines, otherwise not only will you die, but your family members will also die with you." Hearing Yang Feng's words, the 4 beauties immediately chose to be Yang Feng's concubines without any hesitation. These 4 beauties are all smart people, knowing that they are lucky to meet Yang Feng, if they choose the first option. Although they can enjoy a prosperous life, they will only have a lifespan of a few decades, and eventually their faces will fade and die of old age in Jiangcheng. If they chose the second option, although their status was a little lower, they would have a high probability of obtaining the skills bestowed by Yang Feng, becoming a cultivator, and having a long life. Therefore, the 4 beautiful women all chose to be concubines for Yang Feng. Congratulations on making a smart decision. These 4 space rings contain some skills, martial arts, magic, and magical powers, as well as some elixirs and spirit stones, which are enough for you to practice to the heavenly realm. Seeing the 4 women made their choices, Yang Feng smiled slightly, took out the 4 space rings that had been prepared long ago from the cave beads, and put them on the 4 women. Afterwards, Yang Feng was pushed down on the big bed by the 4 enthusiastic girls, and they were affectionate again. Then he got up, put on his clothes, and took out a bronze puppet of the Jindan realm from the Dongxianzu. He asked this bronze puppet of the Jindan realm to drive a high-grade treasure flying boat to send the 4 girls to the southern palace in Xuanhuan town. With the protection of the bronze puppet of the Jindan realm, especially the mark of the Xiantian sect's true disciple left by Yang Feng on the high-grade treasure, the 4 girls can definitely reach the southern palace in Xuanhuan town safely within the sphere of influence of the Xiantian sect. Looking at the backs of the 4 girls going away, Yang Feng chuckled, flew into the air, released a high-grade treasure flying boat, and then sat cross-legged on the high-grade treasure flying boat to practice, and asked a bronze puppet of the Jindan realm to drive the high-grade treasure flying boat and continue to fly towards the direction of the chaotic veins. What an evil fluctuation of magic power! There must be an evil cultivator doing evil nearby. A few days later, Yang Feng, who was practicing on the flying boat of the best treasure, suddenly opened his tightly closed eyes and exclaimed softly. After exclaiming, Yang Feng released his spiritual sense and scanned the direction where the evil magic power fluctuation was emanating. Soon, a small town a few miles away entered the range of Yang Feng's spiritual sense. At this time, more than 100,000 people in the small town, under the control of the evil magic power, all collapsed on the ground. Streams of red blood and pure soul power gushed out from the bodies of more than 100,000 people, flew to a red-robed old man in the sky, and fell into a blood-colored gourd in the red-robed old man's body. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula. _tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article. Thumbnail, 300 by 250 foot, target underscore type, mix. Chapter 76 Killing the Evil Cultivator. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Damn it. This evil cultivator actually massacred the city. After feeling the situation in that small town, Yang Feng's face changed slightly, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He cursed softly, stood up, drove the top-grade treasure flying boat, and made a stream of light toward the building a few miles away. Speeding away in the direction of the small town, soon, Yang Feng flew several miles away and arrived near the small town. At this time, more than 100,000 people with surnames in the small town have all turned into shriveled corpses, with all their blood and souls sucked away. Cut. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with fierceness, and he roared, and a top-quality flying sword flew out from his body, streaking through the void like lightning, with a sharp edge, towards the small town Feng Xie Xiu Xiu. Cut down and go away, bang. In the midst of a crisp sound, the flying sword, a top-quality treasure weapon, crossed a distance of tens of miles. Under the horrified gaze of the evil cultivator, it cut his body into two pieces, blood spattered, and fell downwards. At this time, like lightning, Yang Feng approached half of the evil cultivator's body, turned his right hand into a claw, grabbed the evil cultivator's head, and used the secret soul-searching technique. Soon, Yang Feng got the information he wanted from the evil cultivator's head, and with a little force with his right hand, he crushed the evil cultivator's head. The ordinary people in the mysterious world are too miserable. If you are not careful, your whole family will die. Fortunately, I am very lucky. I was reincarnated into the Yang family in Xuanhuan city. I am protected by the family. It is close to the Qingxiang sect. The evil heretics dare not approach. Otherwise, I might be killed by the evil heretics before I have awakened my system. Looking at the more than 100,000 shriveled corpses in the small town, a chill surged from the bottom of Yang Feng's heart, causing Yang Feng to murmur involuntarily. At the same time, there are more than 100,000 withered corpses in the small town, reminding Yang Feng that this world is a mysterious world without legal restrictions. In such a mysterious world where the weak eat the strong, if you want to survive, you must improve your self-cultivation strength and have super combat power. Otherwise, I might one day be easily obliterated by a powerful evil cultivator with the same surname as Xiaocheng. After a moment of emotion, Yang Feng waved his hand, and a huge pit appeared on the side of the small town. Immediately afterwards, a stream of mana gushes out from his body, and more than 100,000 corpses with the surnamed in the small town are rolled up one after another and sent into a huge pit. Afterwards, countless amounts of soil surged, burying more than 100,000 bodies of the surnamed, forming a huge earth grave. After doing all this, Yang Feng put the evil self-cultivation space ring and the bloody gourd into the caved Z-bead, drove the top-grade treasure flying boat, and flew towards a hill several miles away. According to the memory of the evil cultivator, this evil cultivator is a member of an evil organization. There are more than 10 people in this evil organization. Most of them are monks in the magic realm, a few are monks in the yin and yang realm and the heaven and human realm, and the leader is a monk in the magical power realm. This group of evil organizations is hidden in a hill at the junction of Qingxiang sect and Yushu sect. From time to time, they enter the jurisdiction of Qingxiang sect and Yushu sect, massacre some villages and towns, and collect their blood and soul cultivation. Because the members of this group of evil organizations are very cautious and have a relatively small number of dispatches, they choose remote villages and towns as their targets. Although they alarm the monks from nearby countries, they also alarm the two giants of the Qingxiang sect and the Beast Control sect. In addition, this group of evil organizations is hiding in a very remote and desolate place at the junction of Qingxiang sect and Beast Control sect. Monks from nearby countries have been unable to find their traces, allowing them to hover here for countless times. For 10 years, during these dozens of years, countless innocent people died tragically at the hands of this evil organization. Not long after, Yang Feng flew to the hill where the evil organization was located, immediately let go of his consciousness and scanned towards the hill. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Enemy attack! As soon as Yang Feng arrived, he was discovered by members of Xiaoshan's evil organization. not to mention that he let go of his consciousness and scanned into the hill. Therefore, the members of Xiaoshan's evil organization immediately sounded a shrill alarm, and quickly flew out of the hill, activated their magic weapons and spiritual weapons, and bombarded Yang Feng. Suddenly, he saw thick smells of blood and evil spirits emanating from these evil cultivators and spiritual weapons, which made Yang Feng feel nauseous and his eyes became fierce. Go! Following Yang Feng's soft drink, a top-grade treasure sword shot out from Yang Feng's body, streaking through the void like lightning to meet those evil cultivators' magic weapons. Bang! 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 Amidst the clear and crisp sounds, each evil cultivator's magic weapon and spiritual weapon was destroyed by the top-quality treasure sword, breaking into countless fragments, splashing away in all directions, and sinking into the rocks of the hill. Immediately afterwards, under the urging of Yang Feng, the top-quality long sword, with its bright aura, easily penetrated the heads of each evil cultivator, causing their blood to splatter, creating a mist of blood, and they died tragically on the spot, in a matter of seconds. Except for the evil cultivators in the supernatural power realm, all the other evil cultivators were killed. At this time, the expression of the evil cultivator in the supernatural power realm changed drastically, and he immediately mobilized the magic power in his body and fled into the distance, not daring to continue fighting Yang Feng. However, before his figure could fly very far, his body was pierced by the long sword, a top-notch treasure, and his blood spattered as he fell downwards. At this time, Yang Feng flashed and approached the evil cultivator in the supernatural realm. He made a claw with his right hand and grabbed the head of the evil cultivator in the supernatural realm. He performed the soul-searching secret technique to search his memory. Soon, Yang Feng obtained the information he wanted. With a force of his right hand, he crushed the head of the evil cultivator in the supernatural realm, turning it into a blood mist and killing him on the spot. After that, Yang Feng moved his mind and performed the heaven-devouring demon art, swallowing the blood and souls of more than 10 evil cultivators, turning them into a stream of killing magic power and storing them in a sea of killing consciousness. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 evil cultivators turned into ashes and disappeared with the wind. Then, Yang Feng waved his hand and put all the space equipment of more than 10 evil cultivators into the cave bead, and then burned the evil cultivator cave to ashes, and then continued to fly towards the Chaos Mountains. However, because the beast-taming sex base was not far ahead, Yang Feng was a little more low-key. Yang Feng replaced the top-grade treasure flying boat with a low-grade treasure flying boat, and replaced the bronze Jindan realm puppet with a black iron supernatural power realm puppet, and then continued to let the puppet set up the flying boat, while he himself sat cross-legged on the flying boat to practice, without wasting any time. After flying for several miles in the jurisdiction of the beast-taming sect, Yang Feng found a small immortal cultivation workshop, and curiosity flashed in his eyes. He immediately put away the flying boat and puppets and flew towards the small immortal cultivation workshop. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula, push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type, mix. Chapter 77 Ancient Jade, Red Ant Nest, Golden Egg. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Defensive formation, that when Yang Feng flew near Fengshe, a protective shield blocked his way, and a look of surprise flashed in his eyes. He whispered softly, flew down from the sky, and walked towards the gate of Fengshe in the distance. Went. To enter Qingxiang, please pay a spirit stone. That when Yang Feng reached the gate of Fengshe, a Fengshe guard stepped forward and blocked Yang Feng's path. After hearing the words of the Fengshe guard, Yang Feng waved his hand, and a spirit stone flew out from his body and landed in the hands of the Fengshe guard. At this time, the city guards immediately moved out of the way and allowed Yang Feng to enter. Although this market is large, it is quite lively. Looking at the dense crowds in Fengshe, the hundreds of buildings scattered on both sides of Fengshe streets, and the hundreds of street stalls in one corner of Fengshe, a look of surprise flashed in Yang Feng's eyes, and he murmured softly before asking the receptionist. Walked among the buildings on both sides. Soon, Yang Feng entered a medicine shop and found that most of the medicines inside were refined and spiritual, as well as a large amount of first and second level medicines of corresponding levels, level medicines and similar medicines. There is not a single level of medicine. This made Yang Feng a little disappointed, and his desire to buy medicine disappeared instantly. Do you have any recipes for bloodline here? Yang Feng asked the clerk at the drugstore. Yes, 1,000 spirit stones, the drugstore clerk responded without any hesitation. Give me one. Yang Feng took out 1,000 spirit stones from the space ring and handed it to the medicine shop clerk. Sir, this is the recipe for bloodline. You can check it out. The pharmacy clerk took the spirit stone, counted it, took out a prescription for bloodline from the drawer under the counter, and handed it to Yang Feng. Yang Feng took the prescription of bloodline and checked it carefully. After feeling that there should be no problem, he put it into the space ring and left. After that, Yang Feng continued to browse the shops on both sides of the street. However, the shops on both sides of the street were very low level and did not have the training resources suitable for Golden Realm monks. Yang Feng was a little disappointed, so he walked towards the street stall area in the corner of the market. There are hundreds of street stalls in the street stall area. Most of the stall owners are warriors in the Gangqi realm, and they are monks in the Mana realm and Yin and Yang realm. Most of the items for sale are medium and low-level magic weapons, ordinary medicine, low to medium-level talismans and other items. Later, one of the antiques for sale at a street stall caught Yang Feng's attention and made him observe it carefully. According to Yang Feng's observation, the antiquities on the stall should come from an ancient cave or tomb. It is true that these ancient relics have lost their spirituality due to the passage of time and become ordinary objects. However, due to other reasons, they have become dilapidated and have no merit. Stall owner, where did you get these things? After carefully observing the items on the stall and finding nothing good, Yang Feng asked the stall owner. Senior, this is an ancient artifact I obtained in an ancient cave. If you don't like the item, I'll sell it to you cheaper. The stall owner was a monk in the magic realm. After realizing that he had seen through Yang Feng's cultivation level, he immediately responded with a respectful expression on his face. The value of these antiquities is high, but they have no value to me. Do you have any treasures obtained from the ancient caves? If there is one, take it out and show it to me. If you have a treasure in your hand that satisfies me, I guarantee that I will treat you badly. Spiritual weapons, treasures, magic and martial arts, advanced talismans, combat puppets and other various training resources are available for you to choose from. After hearing what the stall owner said, Yang Feng said calmly. Senior, there are many people here, let's go to the inn to chat. Hearing Yang Feng's words, the stall owner's eyes lit up, he glanced at the lively crowd around him, whispered something, put away the stall, and led Yang Feng to an inn on one side of the street. Soon, Yang Feng, under the leadership of the stall owner, opened an upper room in the inn and set up a soundproof barrier to prevent other people from prying. At this time, the stall owner said to Yang Feng with a smile on his face. Senior, my name is Lin Daong. I do have a treasure in my hand. I want to exchange it for 1 million spiritual stones, a high-grade spiritual weapon, a long sword, and a top-grade defensive weapon, a battle puppet in the magical realm. After hearing Lin Daong's words, Yang Feng waved his hand, and 100 high-grade spiritual stones, a high-grade spiritual weapon long sword, a high-grade defensive spiritual weapon, and a black iron puppet of the supernatural power level flew out from the caved Z-bead, floating in the inn. In the middle of the room. You see, I have everything you want. If your treasure is good enough, don't talk about these things. Even if it is better, I have it. Of course, if your treasure cannot satisfy me, you can get everything. Yang Feng pointed at the item suspended in the room and said in a calm tone. Senior, this is the treasure I obtained in the ancient cave. Take a look at it. Are you satisfied? Lin Daong's eyes lit up when he saw the items in the room, and he immediately took out an ancient jade, a red ant nest, and a golden egg from the space ring, and handed them to Yang Feng. Yang Feng took the ancient jade, the red ant nest, and the golden egg. He let go of his consciousness and looked at it carefully. A golden light flashed in his eyes, and a satisfied smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. A hidden formation was engraved on the ancient jade. After Yang Feng's consciousness passed through the hidden formation, he found a skill book on it. This skill book is called Beast Taming Encyclopedia, which records the methods of breeding and raising 180,000 kinds of monsters and the methods of contracting. More importantly, Beast Taming Encyclopedia records the methods of accelerating the growth of monsters, so that monsters can pass through the infancy stage and enter the adult stage and mature stage in the shortest time, and have the strongest combat power. If the beast taming sect knew about this beast taming encyclopedia, they would definitely buy it at any price. Because of this beast taming encyclopedia, the comprehensive strength and combat effectiveness of the beast taming sect will be increased several times. Even if the beast taming sect is given hundreds of years of development time, the beast taming sect can annex Xiantian sect, Xinjian Villa, Bingshan Palace, Puppet Gate, and dominate Xiantian domain. From this, it can be seen how precious beast taming encyclopedia is. Of course, this is for the beast taming sect. For other cultivators, although the beast taming encyclopedia is precious, it is not that precious at all. After all, other cultivators do not have as much strength as the beast taming sect, and a wide variety of fierce beasts and monsters. After checking the situation of the ancient jade, Yang Feng put it aside and began to check the red ant nest. Soon, Yang Feng found hundreds of ants in the red ant nest, one of which had the cultivation strength of the Gangqi realm, and the other ants had the cultivation strength of the Zhenwu realm and Jinqi realm. At this time, Yang Feng's heart moved, and he picked up the ancient jade again, put his consciousness into it, and checked the information of the ants. When Yang Feng found the information of the ants in the beast taming encyclopedia, he was surprised to find that the ants were a very powerful social monster, but they had strong reproductive capacity, strong survival ability, and extremely terrifying attack power. After reading the detailed information about the ants in the beast taming encyclopedia, Yang Feng turned his attention to the last golden egg and examined it carefully. Finally, Yang Feng found that the golden egg in front of him was a legendary dragon egg, and it was also a very precious golden claw dragon egg. However, this golden egg had a trace of life. It was extremely difficult to cultivate the golden claw dragon inside. It required the top-level water of life, which contained huge vitality. Chapter 78 Refining Bloodline Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. These three treasures of yours are all very good. I'm so impressed, that with a thought in his mind, Yang Feng put the ancient jade, red ant nest, and golden eggs into the caved Z-bead, and said to Lin Daong with a smile on his face. Senior, as long as you are satisfied. I don't know, can I put these items away? Seeing Yang Feng's movement, Lin Daong responded respectfully, and looked at the spiritual stone, spiritual weapon, puppet and other items suspended in the room with an excited expression. Of course. However, I am very particular about integrity when doing business. The value of these items is not as high as your treasure. I will give you another 50 bottles of first-level magic elixir, 20 bottles of second-level magic elixir, and a bronze puppet of the golden elixir realm. At the same time, you can add my contact information. If you have any treasures to sell later, you can contact me. I promise to give you a high price and will not treat you badly. After hearing Lin Daong's words and seeing his excited look, Yang Feng smiled slightly. After saying that, Yang Feng waved his hand. 50 bottles of first-level magic pills, 20 bottles of second-level magic pills, and a bronze puppet of the golden elixir realm flew out from the cave heaven bead hall and floated in the room. Thank you, senior. Later I have a new treasure, I must contact my senior. After hearing Yang Feng's words and seeing his movements, Lin Daong's eyes flashed with surprise, and he quickly thanked him and put the items in the room into the space ring. After that, Yang Feng and Lin Daong added their contact information, found the innkeeper, rented a new room, set up a warning formation, took out the ancient jade, and studied his encyclopedia of taming beasts. Tian Tian is making a lot of money. I won't have to worry about insufficient training resources for a long time to come. I can now return to the cave, practice in seclusion for a while, and improve my cultivation strength. After Lin Daong came out of the inn, a look of excitement flashed in his eyes, and he sighed secretly in his heart, then quickly left Qingxiang and flew away into the distance. However, as soon as Lin Daong left Qingxiang for hundreds of kilometers and came to a lush mountain range, he was surrounded by 3 monks. Lin Daong, tell me, did any of your seniors make any deals? At this time, the first Yinyang monk stepped forward and said in a calm tone. Boss Wei, that senior spent 8 spiritual stones to buy some ancient objects from me. There are 3 spiritual stones here, which are my little gifts. I hope Boss Wei can accept them. After hearing the words of the Yinyang realm monk, Lin Daong's face changed slightly and he said with a respectful expression, as he spoke, Lin Daong took out 3 spiritual stones from the space ring and threw them at the Yinyang realm monk. Seeing Lin Daong's movement, the Yinyang monk waved his hand and put the 3 spiritual stones into the space ring as a gift, and then said in a cold tone, Lin Daong, hand over your space ring, I can spare your life, otherwise don't blame me for being ruthless and kill you. Hearing the cold words of the Yinyang mirror monk, and feeling the strong murderous intent emanating from his body, Lin Daong's eyes flashed fiercely, and with a thought, the bronze puppet of the Golden Core realm flew out from his space ring. Immediately afterwards, I saw the Golden Elixir realm bronze puppet's body flash, and the bronze long sword in his hand easily penetrated the head of the Yin and Yang realm monk, causing blood to splatter, and he died tragically on the spot. After that, the Golden Elixir realm bronze puppet quickly approached the other 2 mana realm monks, and the bronze sword in his hand easily penetrated the heads of the other 2 mana realm monks, causing them to die tragically on the spot. At this time, Lin Daong took off the space rings of the 3 monks, and then waved his hand, and hot fireballs appeared in front of him, igniting the bodies of the 3 monks and turning them into ashes. After doing all this, Lin Daong put away the Golden Elixir realm bronze puppet, transformed into a stream of light, and flew away into the distance. There are too many contents in the Encyclopedia of Controlling Beasts. It is unrealistic to control them all in a short period of time. I have now mastered the breeding and breeding of fire ants, and the method of rapid evolution. It is enough for the time being, and there is no need to continue research. Now that the Bloodline pill is in hand, it's time to learn alchemy and use the Cave Heaven Pearl as the Blood Spirit Grass to refine the Bloodline pill. Yang Feng put down the ancient jade in his hand, muttered softly, put it into the space ring, took out a jade slip for alchemy, and studied it carefully. Ding! You have practiced basic alchemy once, and the effect of your practice has been returned 10,000 times. Your basic alchemy has reached a great level. After Yang Feng read the alchemy technique carefully, a clear reminder sounded in his ears. Countless contents about basic alchemy suddenly emerged in Yang Feng's mind, allowing him to instantly master all the contents of basic alchemy and integrate them, becoming a master of basic alchemy. At this time, Yang Feng put away the basic alchemy technique, took out another alchemy jade slip, and read it carefully. Soon, with the assistance of the 10,000 times cultivation return system, Yang Feng thoroughly understood and integrated the contents of the alchemy jade slip, becoming a master-level figure. After Yang Feng carefully read all the alchemy jade slips on his body, with the help of the 10,000 times cultivation effect return system, he directly became a theoretical alchemy master. Seeing this, Yang Feng did not hesitate at all, and immediately studied the recipe of the Bloodline pill, then took out a top-grade treasure alchemy furnace from the cave bead, took out a portion of Bloodline pill medicinal materials, and began to refine. Bang! With a crisp sound, the first Bloodline pill refined by Yang Feng exploded in the furnace. At this time, countless information about the failure of refining Bloodline pills appeared in Yang Feng's mind, allowing him to instantly master tens of thousands of ways to fail in refining. Afterwards, Yang Feng's expression did not change, and he took out a portion of Bloodline pill materials from the cave bead and continued to refine. With the memory of tens of thousands of failures, Yang Feng easily avoided all possible reasons for failure this time and successfully refined a low-level blood pill. At this time, countless information about refining blood pills appeared in Yang Feng's mind, allowing him to instantly master tens of thousands of methods of refining blood pills, becoming a master in refining blood spirit pills. Then, without any hesitation, Yang Feng immediately took out 100 blood pill materials and put them into the top-grade treasure furnace to refine them. Soon, 100 high-quality blood pills were refined by Yang Feng, which made Yang Feng smile happily. After that, young Feng was like a hardworking little bee, frantically refining blood pills, window, _tabula equals window, _tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type, mix. Chapter 79 Cultivating Fire Ants and Repairing the Golden Puppet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 10,000 bloodline pills, enough for now. After Yang Feng collected the 1,000 bloodline pills in the top-grade treasure alchemy furnace, he muttered softly and put the top-grade treasure alchemy into the cave bead. After that, Yang Feng's mind moved, and the fire ant nest flew out of the cave bead and floated in front of Yang Feng. And the queen ant and 8 strong male ants in the fire ant nest flew out of the fire ant nest under the control of Yang Feng's magic power. At this time, Yang Feng's mind moved, and he mobilized the magic power in his body to perform the master recognition formation recorded in the Beast Control Encyclopedia. Immediately afterwards, Yang Feng forced drops of bright red blood from his body and dripped them into the master recognition formation. After that, the master recognition formation flashed and turned into streams of light, which sank into the bodies of the queen ant and the 8 male ants. At this point, Yang Feng completed the master recognition ceremony, and could communicate with the queen ant and the 8 male ants through simple spiritual consciousness. However, the queen ant and the 8 male ants were too weak, too low in level, and too low in intelligence to speak, and could only send and receive simple spiritual consciousness signals. Since the master recognition ceremony has been completed, the queen ant and the 8 male ants can evolve. After sensing the spiritual connection between the queen ant and the 8 male ants, Yang Feng whispered to himself and took out a blood pill and fed it to the queen ant and the 8 male ants. The blood pill contains a mysterious evolutionary power that can make the beast evolve. As long as a certain number of blood pills are taken, the queen ant and the 8 male ants can become high-level ants, with powerful blood talents, and then pass them on to their grandchildren through reproduction. In this way, Yang Feng can obtain a large number of high-level ant warriors. Soon, the queen ant and the 8 male ants devoured the blood pills fed by Yang Feng. Their blood evolved a little, their wisdom also improved a little, and they kept contacting Yang Feng through their spiritual consciousness to ask for blood pills. Feeling the emotions of the queen ant and the 8 male ants, Yang Feng showed a faint smile at the corner of his mouth. With a wave of his hand, he put the fire ant nest, the queen ant and the 8 male ants into the cave bead. Then, Yang Feng's mind moved, and nearly 10,000 blood pills all flew to the front of the fire ant nest and piled up into a small hill. At this time, without Yang Feng's order, the queen ant and the 8 male ants rushed to the piled up blood pills and devoured them crazily. The other fire ants in the fire ant nest also rushed out of the nest and quickly pounced on the blood pill to devour it. Seeing this, Yang Feng smiled slightly and let the fire ants devour the blood pill, and then invested his time and energy in the formation and refining techniques. With the help of the 10,000 times return system of cultivation effect, Yang Feng only spent 3 days to master all the jade slips about formation and refining techniques in the cave sky bead, and comprehended them thoroughly and integrated them, becoming a theoretical formation master and refining master. After 3 days of devouring, the 10,000 blood pills were devoured by the fire ants. The blood of the queen ant evolved and became the top fire ant, born with the power to devour and manipulate fire. As long as there are enough fire attribute spiritual materials for the queen ant to devour, the queen ant can practice the cave sky realm without any obstacles. And this is not the most terrifying. The most terrifying thing is that the queen ant's reproductive ability has evolved. Not only has the number of reproductions increased dramatically, but the level of the fire ants bred is also extremely high, with great potential. Among them, the first generation of ants can grow to the Law realm, the second generation of ants can grow to the Xuanhuan realm. The third generation of ants can grow to the Yuanying realm. The ants after the third generation can all grow to the Jindan realm. In other words, having a queen ant is equivalent to having a powerful ant army. At the same time, the blood of the 8 male ants has also evolved, becoming a high-level ant, and can smoothly grow to the Yuanshan realm. As for the blood of the other hundreds of fire ants, although they have evolved, because they swallowed a little less blood pills, they have only become intermediate ants and can grow to the Yuanying realm, feeling the changes of the queen ant, the male ants and other fire ants. Yang Feng's face showed a satisfied smile. After that, Yang Feng's mind moved. And the countless fire attribute spiritual materials and spiritual stones stored in the cave bead immediately took off and flew in front of the fire ant nest, piling up into a mountain, allowing the queen ant and other fire ants to devour and evolve. After arranging the fire ants, Yang Feng took out the broken energy core from the cave bead, released his consciousness, and carefully observed and studied it. After Yang Feng thoroughly studied the formation and refining techniques in the energy core, as well as the control program inside, he took out some materials from the cave bead and began to refine the energy core of the golden puppet. With the help of the cultivation effect 10,000 times return system, Yang Feng successfully refined an energy core after failing once, and put it into the body of a Yuanshan realm golden puppet. Greetings, Master. At this time, the Yuanshan realm golden puppet opened its tightly closed eyes, knelt in front of Yang Feng, and greeted him respectfully. Get up. Yang Feng responded with a smile, and began to refine the second energy core. Soon, the second energy core was refined by Yang Feng and placed in the body of another Yuanshan realm golden puppet, which restored its mobility and combat effectiveness. However, Yang Feng did not stop refining the energy core immediately, but continued to refine 2 spare energy cores using the materials in the Dongtian Pearl. With 2 spare energy cores, even if the energy core of the Yuanshan realm golden puppet was destroyed, Yang Feng could replace it at the first time to maintain the lasting combat effectiveness of the Yuanshan realm golden puppet. After doing this, Yang Feng waved his hand and put the 2 Yuanshan realm golden puppet into the Dongtian Pearl for standby. He got up and left the inn, left Qingxiang, and flew towards the Chaos Mountains. In the following journey, Yang Feng walked at sunrise and rested at sunset, constantly approaching the Chaos Mountains. During this process, during the day, the flying treasure was transformed from a bronze puppet of the divine power realm, and Yang Feng sat cross-legged on the flying treasure to practice the Shantian Ju and improve his cultivation strength. At night, Yang Feng randomly found a place to land, and then released 2 Yuanshan realm golden puppets to protect his safety, while he continued to practice Shantian Ju, striving to practice Yuanying realm as soon as possible. Once Yang Feng practiced Yuanying realm, the breadth of his sea of consciousness, the huge reserves of mana, and the powerful soul power could completely overwhelm Yuanying realm cultivators and easily kill Yuanshan realm cultivators. In this way, Yang Feng's safety after entering the Chaos Mountains was greatly guaranteed, and he was no longer afraid of the threats of most cultivators. Chapter 80 Chaos Mountains. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is this the Chaos Mountains? I feel it similar to the Shantian Mountains, not much different. Yang Feng flew into a lush, green mountain range that stretched for hundreds of thousands of kilometers, and felt the rich spiritual energy in the mountain. He frowned and whispered to himself. My lord, the main characteristics of Chaos Mountain are chaotic laws, space cracks, and countless different dimensions. Among them, the laws are chaotic, and only the monks who have comprehended the law realm can feel it. The monks who have not comprehended the law realm cannot sense it at all. And the space cracks in different dimensions are generally deep in Chaos Mountain, not around Chaos Mountain. My lord, the reason why Chaos Mountain feels similar to Shantian Mountain is because you have just entered Chaos Mountain. When you go thousands of miles deep into Chaos Mountain, you will find the difference between Chaos Mountain and Shantian Mountain. My lord, the laws of Chaos Mountain are chaotic. I can't act at will, otherwise I will be backlashed by the laws and my energy will be seriously injured. Therefore, unless it is a life and death moment, my lord had better not use me. At this time, the voice of Suzaku's sword spirit Suzaku sounded in Yang Feng's mind, making his face reveal a look of realization. I know. Yang Feng responded casually, then put away the black iron puppet of the supernatural realm, personally drove the flying treasure, and flew to the depths of the Chaos Mountains. The Chaos Mountains are rich in spiritual energy, rich in resources, and have many fierce beasts. The nearby casual cultivators and cultivators from small sects like to explore the area around the Chaos Mountains, find resources, and hunt fierce beasts. Therefore, Yang Feng met many cultivators along the way. However, these cultivators are relatively weak, and the most powerful cultivator is only at the level of the heavenly man realm. After feeling the aura of the golden realm emanating from Yang Feng, these cultivators retreated and did not dare to approach Yang Feng at all. Yang Feng flew unimpeded to the depths of the Chaos Mountains. When Yang Feng went more than 10,000 miles deep into the Chaos Mountains, a strong sense of crisis surged from the bottom of his heart. It seemed that if it continued to fly forward, it would die without a burial place. At this time, Yang Feng's mind moved, and a true realm ant flew out from the cave bead and rushed forward. Puff! In a crisp sound, the body of the true realm ant seemed to be cut by countless sharp blades, and instantly turned into countless fragments and scattered on the ground. Fuck! There is a space crack in front. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng's face changed slightly, and he exclaimed involuntarily, the space crack contains the terrifying space-cutting law. The cultivators below the law realm are simply unable to resist the cutting of the space-cutting law. With Yang Feng's cultivation strength and physical strength, once he falls into the space crack, he will die. After a cry of surprise, Yang Feng's brain started to work rapidly, thinking about how to deal with the space cracks. There are countless space cracks in the Chaos Mountains. Yang Feng must learn how to identify space cracks, otherwise it is easy to fall into the space cracks and be cut into countless pieces by the space-cutting law. Soon, Yang Feng remembered that among the countless magic jade slips left by Wei Yong, there was a magic skill of practicing the Sky Eye. Thinking of this, Yang Feng did not hesitate at all, and immediately flew to the ground, sat cross-legged, took out the jade slip of practicing the Sky Eye spell, and quickly browsed it. After bathing in the Xiantian pool, Yang Feng's qualifications have been comprehensively evolved, and his comprehension has increased by several times. Just browsing once, Yang Feng mastered the method of practicing the Sky Eye. After that, Yang Feng put down the jade slip of the Sky Eye technique, and practiced silently according to the method of exercise in it. Ding! You practiced the Sky Eye technique once, and the effect of practice is returned 10,000 times. You practice the Sky Eye technique to the peak state, and you can condense the Sky Eye with a thought. At this time, a crisp reminder sounded in Yang Feng's ears. Countless information about the Sky Eye technique appeared in Yang Feng's mind, allowing him to instantly master the mystery of the Sky Eye technique and easily perform it. After feeling the memory of the Sky Eye technique in his mind, Yang Feng's mind moved, and the mana in his body surged and gathered in his eyebrows, and a virtual Sky Eye condensed in his eyebrows. Then, in the void ahead, dense and tens of miles of space cracks entered Yang Feng's field of vision, which shocked him greatly. After that, Yang Feng looked around, and the thinness and flow of the spiritual energy around him all entered Yang Feng's field of vision. After observing the surrounding environment and finding no danger, Yang Feng released the Sky Eye technique and sighed softly. The Sky Eye technique is a magical power that simulates the Sky Eye. With the help of formations and mana, a Sky Eye is simulated, which has some of the power of the Sky Eye. But the use of the Sky Eye technique consumes a lot of mana and mental strength, and it cannot last long. If there is a chance, it is best to practice a powerful pupil technique. After sighing, Yang Feng released the flying treasure, bypassed the area where the space cracks were, and continued to fly deep into the Chaos Mountains. When Yang Feng went deeper into the Chaos Mountains for more than 2,000 miles, a violent wave of mana came from the front, which made Yang Feng's heart move. He immediately released his consciousness and explored the direction of the wave of mana. Soon, a battle scene of a Gold Realm cultivator fighting more than 10 demons alone entered Yang Feng's consciousness. Fellow Taoist from afar, please help me kill these 10 or so demons. I will reward you generously afterwards. Feeling Yang Feng's consciousness, the golden monk's heart moved, and he immediately mobilized the magic power in his body and shouted loudly in the direction of Yang Feng. At the same time, the golden monk began to fight with more than 10 demons while moving quickly towards Yang Feng's place. It is obvious that the golden monk wanted to drag Yang Feng into the water and let Yang Feng help him share the pressure. Kill! 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 Seeing the golden monk's actions, more than 10 demons were furious, roared, and increased the intensity of the attack. However, only 2 of the more than 10 demons had the strength of the Golden Realm, and all the others had the strength of the Divine Power Realm. Although they increased their attack power, they could not stop the movement of the Golden Realm cultivator, let alone kill him quickly. Soon, The Golden Realm cultivator moved dozens of miles and came to Yang Feng's side. He shouted loudly, "Dao Yu, I have a map of the Flame Mountain, the holy land of demons. As long as you help me kill these more than 10 demons, I am willing to share the map of the Flame Mountain with you." Hearing the words of the Golden Realm cultivator, the faces of more than 10 demons changed drastically. Among them, the leading demon had a fierce light in his eyes, waved his hand, separated half of the demons, and killed Yang Feng. Window, _Tabula equals window, _Tabula. Tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement. Below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type, mix.